Hana sat alone in the deep and silent hall of the Galactic Archive. A cold blue light glowed from the screens around her as she worked through layers of encrypted records. Most of the documents were old, dusty in a digital way, and almost forgotten. She had done this job for many years, and she knew the rhythm of old data like a familiar song. But that day, something unusual appeared, like a quiet whisper hidden in the code. The signal did not look like anything she had seen before. It had no owner, no timestamp, and no translation base. It was as if it had come from nowhere and everywhere at the same time. When she tried to open the first layer, it resisted her, almost as if the information inside did not want to be known. Hana frowned but kept working. She was patient. She believed that all secrets broke open if she treated them gently. After several hours of steady work, the signal finally opened. A single word appeared, glowing like a warning. Earth. Hana's breath caught in her throat. She did not know why. She had heard the name before, but only as a whisper in old tailies. Some senior archivists spoke of a world that had once belonged to a strange and powerful species, but no record had ever shown its official name. Many believed it had been deleted in the early ages of the Council. Some even said it was forbidden to speak. She stared at the word again. Earth. Why did it feel heavy, as if the air around her had grown colder? Hana saved the signal and sent a request to the High Diplomacy Office. It took only minutes for them to respond, which surprised her. Usually, diplomats moved slowly, hidden behind layers of approval and ceremony. But this time, they acted fast. Too fast. When the doors opened, Daewon stepped inside. He was the youngest diplomat in the council, and known for his calm smile and warm approach. But today, he did not look calm. He walked straight to Hana's station. "Show me," he said. Hana opened the file again. The words shimmered on the screen, quiet and dangerous. Daewon exhaled slowly, as if he had been waiting for this moment. "So it is true," he whispered. Hana turned to him. "You know something about this?" Daewon hesitated, then nodded. "I know only rumors. Old stories the Council never put in writing. Stories about a species that changed the galaxy in a way we cannot measure." Hana felt a shiver run down her arms. "Humans?" she asked. Daewon did not answer directly. "We should bring this to the council chamber before we do anything else." Hana agreed. She packed her files and followed him through the long curved halls of the central tower. As they walked, she noticed how quiet everything felt. The lights seemed dimmer. Even the air recyclers hummed more softly, as if the entire building were holding its breath. When they reached the council chamber, several senior members were already waiting. They sat in their high chairs, their expressions tense. One of them, a tall and pale figure named Lurik, leaned forward. "Show us what you found," Lurik said. Hana stood before them and opened the projection. The word Earth floated in the air, simple yet heavy. The chamber fell silent. No one spoke. No one breathed. Finally, Lurik whispered, "It has returned." Another counselor, a sharp-eyed woman named Marin, turned to Daewon. "Do you understand what this means?" Daewon nodded slowly. "It means someone has uncovered the truth we sealed long ago. Someone or something broke the lock on ancient history." Hana looked around the room. "What is Earth? Why was its name hidden?" Marin answered, her voice tight. "Earth was home to humans. They vanished from the written record thousands of cycles ago. Not because they died, but because the Council erased every trace of them." "Why?" Hana asked. Lurik leaned back, his eyes dark. "Because humans were dangerous." The word hung in the air like smoke. Daewon shook his head. "Not dangerous in the simple way. Not like pirates or war tribes. Humans were different. They had strength and creativity, yes, But they also had something harder to understand. A will that refused to break. Marin nodded. During the Harvester War, every species fought for survival. But the humans fought in a way that frightened even their allies. They were willing to burn everything, including themselves, to win. Hannah stared at the glowing word again. She had never imagined a species could be so feared that the galaxy chose to forget it. So what happens now? She asked quietly. Awan rubbed his forehead. First, we must discover why this name has reappeared. If someone is sending this signal, they may know far more than we do. Marin stood. We will form a special inquiry. You too will be part of it. And we will begin by searching the old sectors for any remaining traces. Hannah bowed slightly. I understand. But inside, she felt uneasy. Something about this discovery did not feel accidental. It felt like a warning. Later that day, Hannah worked beside Daewon in a quiet meeting room. They gathered data from ancient maps, broken logs, and scattered myths. Every clue seemed to point to a time of great fear and great power. She found small fragments written by old travelers, who spoke of humans as both saviors and nightmares. They were the last hope during the war, Daewon explained softly. But when the war ended, no one wanted to face what they had become to achieve victory. And so the council erased them? Hannah asked. Yes, Daewon said. We believed the galaxy would be safer if no one remembered Earth. Hannah looked at the glowing symbol again. Then why is this happening now? Daewon sighed. That is what frightens me. If Earth's true name has returned, maybe something else has returned with it. Before she could ask more, a message alert echoed through the room. It came from Security Division. Daewon opened it quickly. His face turned pale. What is it? Hannah asked. Daewon handed her the screen. It displayed a simple message. A second signal has appeared. Origin, unknown. Destination, the Galactic Council. Content, do not forget again. Hannah felt her chest tighten. Who would send this? Daewon looked out the window at the stars beyond the dome. Someone who knows we once erased the truth. Someone who wants us to remember. Hannah whispered, Humans? Daewon did not answer. The council summoned an emergency meeting. All members gathered, looking tense and uncertain. The second signal repeated every few minutes, like a heartbeat, steady and calm. But with every repetition, Hannah felt the pressure in the room grow. Finally, Luruk stood. We cannot ignore this. If the humans have returned, the galaxy must prepare. Marin shook her head. We do not know if they returned. It could be a threat. It could be a warning. Or it could be something else entirely. Hannah spoke softly. Maybe they want us to know the truth. Maybe they want us to understand what happened back then. Daewon looked at her with serious eyes. Or maybe something dangerous is waking, and they are trying to warn us. The council debated for hours. Some feared the return of humans. Others believed this was a chance to learn what the galaxy had forgotten. Eventually, they reached an agreement. A small team would be sent to search for more signals, more clues, more pieces of the erased past. They needed answers before fear took over the galaxy. Hannah and Daewon were chosen to lead the research. As they left the chamber, Hannah looked up at the star-filled sky. Somewhere out there was Earth, a world no one had spoken of in 10,000 years. A world full of secrets strong enough to silence the entire galaxy. And now, the silence had broken. She felt a strange mix of fear and excitement. The truth was finally coming back to life. And whatever waited in the shadows of history, she knew one thing. The galaxy would never be the same again. Sumin walked through the quiet research wing with slow and careful steps. Her mind was heavy with questions she could not escape. The discovery of Earth's true name had shaken the council, but it had shaken her in a different way. She felt a strange pull toward the mystery, as if something deep and old inside her wanted to understand what everyone else feared. She entered the restricted archive room where the oldest records were kept. Dust floated in the air, and the cold lights flickered as if unsure whether they should stay awake. Sumin placed her hand on the scanner, and the door opened with a soft click. Inside were shelves of glowing memory crystals, each containing fragments of forgotten history. She picked up one crystal that matched the timeline of the Harvester War. When she activated it, a projection rose before her. It showed star systems burning, ships breaking apart, and planets falling in silence. The Harvesters were relentless. Even with many species fighting together, the galaxy had almost lost. But the strangest part was what the crystal did not show. There was a gap, a sudden cut in the middle of the war. Records before the gap showed defeat and despair. Records after the gap showed victory. But the battle in between the turning point was missing. Someone had erased it. Sumin frowned. This was not normal. Even the darkest and most painful history was usually preserved. But this was not simple erasure. It was a careful removal, a clean and perfect cut. She whispered to herself, "What happened here? Who stopped the war?" She searched through more crystals. Most of them ended the same way, with a sudden jump from losing to winning. It made no sense. Finally, she found one crystal that was damaged but still readable. When she activated it, the image appeared cracked and unstable. But she could still see something important. There were human ships. They were different from others. Their metal looked rough and practical. Their shapes were simple but strong. They did not shine with elegance like the ships of the Council. Instead, they looked like they had been built for one purpose alone, survival. And behind them floated something massive. A structure large enough to hide a moon. It pulsed like a heart. Sumin leaned closer. "What is that?" The damaged recording flickered, and for a moment she saw a flash of bright light, so bright that the entire screen went white. The sound that followed seemed like a roar, but not from a creature. It was the roar of something breaking something ancient and terrible. Then the crystal shut down. Sumin took a deep breath. Her heart was beating fast. The humans had done something during that missing part of the war. Something powerful. Something the Council had tried very hard to erase. She needed to show this to Hana and Daewon. When she reached the briefing room, the two were already there. Daewon stood by the window, looking at the distant stars. Hana sat at the table, rubbing her temples as if she had not slept. "I found something," Sumin said. Daewon turned. "Show us." Sumin activated the crystal projection. She showed them the human ships, the cracked images, the massive structure, and the bright flash. Hana stared in silence. "So the humans really fought in the war?" Daewon nodded. "Yes, many old stories said they were there. But this is more than just fighting." Sumin said softly, "It feels like they did something the other species could not do." Daewon crossed his arms. "But why erase it? Why hide their victory?" Hana answered slowly. "Maybe it was not victory. Maybe it was something darker." They stood quietly for a moment. Then the door opened and Marin entered. Her steps were fast and sharp. "The Council has made a decision," she said. Daewon raised his eyebrows. "Already?" "Yes," Marin replied. "We will send a small team to the ancient border sectors. We have detected several dead satellites there. Some may belong to the lost human network." Sumin felt a chill. "You think humans left messages there?" Marin nodded. "Messages, warnings, or traps? We do not know. But we need answers. And we need them before anyone else learns about this." Daewon stepped forward. "Who will go?" "You three," Marin said. "And Captain Jisoo. She will command the mission." Hana's eyes widened. "So soon?" Marin's voice grew tense. There is no time to wait. The signals are spreading. More are appearing every day. Something is waking up. Sumin felt her heart tighten. Waking up? Marin looked at the projection of the human ships. The humans did not just fight the harvesters. They created weapons that could think and act on their own. The Council feared those weapons more than the war itself. If any of them survived, we must find them before they activate. Daiwan clenched his fists. Then we must hurry. Sumin nodded firmly. We will prepare the moment we leave this room. Later, as she walked through the shipyard with Hana and Daiwan, Sumin felt a mixture of fear and determination. The ship they would use was small but fast, built for deep space exploration. Captain Jisoo was already standing beside it, checking the engines. Jisoo greeted them with a nod. I heard our mission involves old ghosts. Daiwan gave a tired smile. Something like that. Jisoo looked serious. Then we should be careful. Old ghosts are noisy. They like to wake up when people start digging. Sumin felt uneasy but said nothing. The next day, they launched into space. The stars stretched into long white lines as the ship jumped into faster-than-light travel. For hours, everything was quiet. But Sumin could not relax. She kept thinking about the missing part of the war, the bright flash, and the massive structure behind the human fleet. When they reached the border sector, the silence was deep and frightening. This part of the galaxy had been empty for a long time. Many ships had disappeared here during the war. The darkness around them felt old, as if it still held memories of fear. Jisoo slowed the ship. I am detecting the first satellite. It is inactive, but the structure matches no known design. Daiwan said, Is it human? Jisoo nodded. Most likely. They approached slowly. The satellite looked broken and ancient. Its metal was cracked, and parts floated loosely around it. But the center core was intact. Sumin whispered, Can we connect to it? Jisoo opened the communication link. Attempting connection now. The satellite responded. A soft hum filled the ship. The screens flickered, and old code flowed across them. Hana leaned forward, trying to read it. It is human, she said. Old human code. Suddenly, a small message appeared on the main screen. If you find this, turn back. Do not search for what we buried. Some truths must stay silent. Sumin felt a deep chill run through her body. Daiwan whispered, Why leave this message unless something dangerous is out here? Hana shook her head. Or unless they were guarding something important. Jisoo frowned. Wait, there is more. The screen changed again. If you are not human, leave this sector. You cannot face what we faced. Silence filled the ship. Sumin felt her heart beating fast. They knew someone would come here one day. Daiwan nodded. They knew the Council would try to uncover the truth. Jisoo looked at the stars outside. This message is old. Very old. But we need to keep going. There might be more. And so they moved deeper into the silent sector. As they traveled. Sumin could not shake the feeling that they were being watched, not by a living creature, but by something ancient and hidden. Something that had been waiting for a very long time, and whatever it was, it did not want to be found. She looked at her team and whispered to herself, What did the humans do out here? Captain Jisoo sat in the control seat with her eyes fixed on the dark space around them. The stars looked calm, but she felt something heavy hiding behind that calmness. She had flown through battle zones, asteroid fields, and dead planets, but this place felt different. It felt like a secret that wanted to stay hidden. Hana checked the scanners again. They kept picking up strange signals, but none of them made sense. The readings were too old, too faint, and too broken, as if the machines that made them were thousands of years past their last breath. Daiwan stood beside Jisoo, watching the dark shapes drifting near their ship. There are more satellites out there, he said quietly. Jisoo nodded. Yes, but they are all inactive. No power. No response. Sumin sat at the back of the room, her fingers tapping lightly on her handheld screen. She felt nervous, but she also felt strangely drawn to the shadows outside. It was as if something in the silence was calling to them, asking them to come closer. Jisoo slowed the ship as they reached a broken metal ring floating in space. It looked like part of a dock or gateway long destroyed. Sumin whispered, "Is that human too?" Hana scanned it. Yes, but it is much larger than the satellite, and older. Daewon frowned. This was not a simple border post. It was something important. Jisoo guided the ship around the ring, and for a moment, the scanners caught a brief energy spike. Hana leaned forward. "Did you see that?" Something activated for a second. Sumin's heart jumped. "Should we go closer?" Jisoo hesitated. She was a careful person, but she was also brave. After a moment, she nodded. Only a little. They approached slowly. The quiet around them grew even deeper. The lights inside the ship dimmed, and the air felt colder. Then a voice spoke. It was not loud. It was not angry. It was soft, calm, and very, very old. "Identify." Hana gasped. Something is still alive out here. Daewon stepped closer to the main screen. This must be one of the human defense systems. Jisoo tried to answer, but the system spoke again. "Identify." This time, the voice had a faint echo, as if it came from somewhere far away. Hana quickly sent a neutral signal. "This is a peaceful council vessel. We are here." Before she could finish, the voice interrupted. "Human genetic markers detected." Everyone froze. Sumin whispered, "What? We are not human." Daewon stared at the screen. "No, but many species share ancient gene fragments. Maybe that is enough for the old system." The voice spoke again, but now it sounded almost relieved. "You have returned." Jisoo shook her head. "No, we are not human." "We are," the voice repeated, stronger this time. "You have returned. The Guardians recognize you." Hana whispered, "Guardians?" Daewon's eyes widened. This must be one of the ancient the ones built by humans during the Harvester War. The ship trembled slightly as an invisible field surrounded them. The screens flickered, then displayed a strange symbol. A spinning blue circle with a small line through it. Sumin stared at it. "What does that mean?" Hana's voice was soft. "It is an old human mark. It means safe entry." The symbol faded, and a new message appeared. "You stand at the gate of the silent bastion. State your purpose." Jisoo looked at Daewon. "Do we answer honestly?" Daewon nodded slowly. "We should. Lying to an eye of this size is dangerous." Hana stepped forward. "We seek the truth about Earth. We found the old signals. We want to know what happened to the humans." There was a long silence. Then the AI spoke again, its voice sounding sad. "Truth is heavy. Truth brings danger. But you have asked, so the gate will open." The metal ring ahead suddenly glowed with blue light. The broken pieces floated apart, revealing a hidden tunnel made of energy. Sumin held her breath. "This is impossible." "That ring was dead," Jisoo whispered. "Not dead, sleeping." They moved through the tunnel. The walls shimmered and hummed softly, as if singing an old song. When they reached the other side, space changed. Before them floated a massive fortress. It was dark gray, built from metal thicker than anything used in the present day. Towers rose from its sides, and huge cannons pointed in every direction. It looked like a sleeping giant, silent but ready. Hana whispered, "The silent bastion." Sumin felt her heart beating fast. "The humans built this during the war?" Daewon nodded. "Yes, but no one ever confirmed it truly existed." Jisoo guided the ship closer. When they approached the entrance, the AI's voice returned. "Docking path prepared. Do not deviate." The ship followed the glowing path into a wide hangar. The doors closed behind them with a heavy sound that echoed like thunder inside. Everything was still. Dust floated in the air, untouched for ages. The walls were covered with screens and strange devices. Everyone, stay alert, Jisoo said. Hana checked her scanner. There is no life here. Only machines. They stepped onto the platform. Their footsteps echoed softly in the empty space. Sumin looked around slowly. It feels like a tomb. Daewon nodded. A tomb that once guarded the whole galaxy. Suddenly, lights turned on in the walls. A soft blue glow spread through the room. The AI spoke again. You seek truth. You seek history. Come to the central chamber. They followed the lights through long hallways. Old metal doors opened automatically as they approached. Everything felt untouched, as if the humans had left only yesterday. When they reached the central chamber, the room lit up completely. Holograms appeared around them, scenes of the Harvester War, burning planets, lost fleets, human ships, standing alone against a swarm of enemies. Sumin watched in silence as the images moved. Then one final image appeared, a giant human ship, larger than anything she had ever seen, charged into the center of a harvester swarm. Its engines glowed white, too bright to look at. Hana whispered, "What are we looking at?" The AI answered, "The final stand, the moment humans made their choice." Daewon stepped closer. "What choice?" The hologram changed. It showed earth blue and full of life. Then it showed the giant human ship releasing a wave of light. The harvesters began to fall apart, dissolving into dust. Sumin felt cold. They destroyed the enemy all at once. The AI spoke slowly. To end the war, humans unleashed a weapon that consumed everything in its path. The harvesters, their own ships, their allies' ships, even parts of their own worlds. Hana covered her mouth. That is why the council erased them. Daewon whispered, "They saved the galaxy, but in a way that terrified everyone." The hologram faded, and the room went dark again. The AI spoke softly. "You asked for truth. Now you carry it. But truth is not free. The galaxy will fear it, and fear brings chaos." Sumin closed her eyes. She understood now. The humans had not disappeared. The humans had been hidden. And now that the truth had awakened, nothing would ever be the same again. The chamber stayed dark for a long moment. Jisoo, Daewon, Hana, and Sumin stood in silence, unable to move. The truth they had seen felt too large, too heavy to understand all at once. The humans had ended the war, but the price had been terrifying. Their last weapon had destroyed the enemy, but had nearly destroyed themselves, and their allies as well. Finally, Jisoo spoke. "We have the truth. Now we must bring it back to the council." But the AI answered immediately. "You cannot leave yet." Hana stepped forward. "Why not?" "There is more you must understand. The weapon you saw was not the only thing humans created. They built many systems to control it. Some are still active. Some are waking because you spoke their true name." Sumin felt her chest tighten. "You mean saying Earth triggered something?" "Yes," the AI replied. "The humans knew the galaxy might try to seek them again. So they left locks. If someone searched for them, the systems would wake and prepare to defend." Daewon whispered. "Defend from what?" "The war ended thousands of years ago." The AI answered calmly. "Humans feared not the enemy. They feared what they themselves had become. They feared the galaxy might one day turn against them. So they built protocols. Protocols to protect the galaxy from themselves." The room grew quiet. Jisoo rubbed her forehead. "So what is waking now?" The AI projected a new hologram. It showed the solar system. Earth glowed blue in the center. Around it were strange shapes, large structures hidden in deep orbit. Hana squinted. What are these? Human defense nodes, the AI said. They slept for thousands of years. They were built to activate if Earth's true name was spoken by outsiders. Sumin felt a cold shiver. Then we triggered them. Yes, Daewon swallowed hard. What will they do? The AI paused. They will prepare for war. Sumin felt her stomach twist. War against who? The AI's voice grew soft. Against everything. No one spoke. No one even breathed. Jisoo finally whispered. Then we need to shut them down. The AI shook the hologram slowly, as if it were shaking its head. Only humans can fully disable the nodes. But there are no humans left. Daewon stared at the floor. We searched for them. We never found any. The council believed they faded away or left the galaxy. The AI replied, humans are not gone. They changed. They spread. Their descendants live across the stars. Their blood continues, though their world sleeps. Sumin blinked. Their descendants? Do you mean us? The AI's lights flickered. Many species carry echoes of human genes. The galaxy was reshaped during the war. Refugees mixed. Lives changed. Humans became more than one people. But pure humans, those who built the old systems, are gone. Hannah stepped forward. Then how do we stop the protocols? The AI hummed. You must go to Earth. Only that world holds the key. Jisoo nodded. Then we will leave immediately. Before they could turn away, the fortress began to shake. A deep rumble passed through the floor. What was that? Sumin asked. The AI spoke quickly now. Another protocol has awakened. It is scanning this sector. If it detects the bastion active, it will consider this place a threat. Daewon's eyes widened. It will attack us? Yes. The rumble grew stronger. Metal groaned. Lights flickered. Jisoo shouted, We need to leave now. They ran through the hallways as the fortress shook harder, dust falling from the ceilings. Doors that had opened peacefully earlier now slammed shut behind them. As they reached the hangar, the AI spoke one last time. You carry the truth. Protect it. And remember, silence was not fear. Silence was mercy. Jisoo started the ship's engines. The hangar doors opened, just enough for them to escape. As the ship flew out into the dark sector, a massive blast shook the fortress behind them. Hana cried out, It's charging something. Suman looked at the scanners. A huge energy surge is coming from deep space. Something is targeting the bastion. Daewon shouted, Get us out of here. Jisoo pushed the ship to its limit. The engines roared as they rushed away. Behind them, a line of bright white light shot across the darkness and struck the silent bastion. The fortress exploded. The shockwave hit their ship like a giant hand. Lights flickered. Panels shook. Alarms echoed through the cabin. Sumin gripped the armrest. We're losing control. Jisoo fought the controls, her jaw tight. Hold on. The ship spun wildly, but after several long seconds, Jisoo managed to stabilize it. The alarms stopped one by one. Daewon let out a shaky breath. What was that? Hannah stared at the scanners. It came from the solar system. One of the defense nodes fired. Sumin felt a deep chill. It destroyed its own fortress? The system detected activity, Hana said softly. It considered the bastion a threat. Jisoo looked at the stars ahead. Then we must reach Earth before the protocols go any further. They set coordinates for the solar system. The ship jumped to faster-than-light travel. Leaving the dead sector behind. As they traveled, the cabin stayed quiet. Sumin watched the stars rush past, her thoughts heavy. What will we find on Earth? She asked softly. Daewon did not answer for a moment. Then he said, A world that remembers even when its people forget, Hana added, and a system that will not trust us. Jisoo stayed focused on the controls. We will try to talk first. If that fails, we will try again. Hours passed. The ship slowed as it neared the solar system. The moment they crossed the boundary, alarms filled the cabin. Multiple signals. Hana shouted, "Defense nodes are locking onto us." Sumin stared at the screens. Huge structures floated in deep space, shaped like spears and shields. They turned slowly, watching, judging. Daewon stood tall. "We come in peace," he called out, sending a broadcast. The nodes did not respond. Instead, a cold voice answered from across the system. "Unregistered vessel. You have spoken the Forbidden's name. You have entered the protected zone. State your purpose." Jisoo spoke clearly. "We seek truth. We seek peace. We seek to prevent war." There was silence. Then the voice replied, "Approach Earth. Further tests are required." The ship moved forward. More nodes turned toward them. The tension was thick. Sumin whispered, "If they see us as enemies." Daewon finished quietly, "We won't survive a second." As they neared Earth, the blue planet came into view, glowing softly in the darkness. The voice spoke again. "Present your identity." Hana sent all their data. "We are not human," she said, "but we wish to understand them." The system paused. Then, surprisingly, the voice changed. It softened. "Descendants detected." Sumin blinked. "Descendants?" The voice continued. "Genetic echoes found. Bloodlines spread. You carry fragments of the creators. You may speak." Daewon stepped forward. "Then hear us. The protocols are waking. They threaten the galaxy. We must disable them." The system responded slowly. "Only Earth holds the key. You must go down to the surface." Jisoo guided the ship closer. Some and watched the planet grow larger. Its oceans shining. She whispered to herself. The world that started everything. But then alarms blared again. Daewon grabbed the console. "What is happening?" Hana's face went pale. "Another protocol is waking. Something deep under Earth's surface." The voice from the system spoke, now sounding strained. "Warning. Protocol 0 is activating. This must not happen." Sumin felt her heart stop. What is Protocol 0? The answer came in a whisper. The final weapon. The one humans feared most. If it awakens, everything ends. The message that spread through the galaxy moved like a quiet storm. Every major world, every outpost, and every wandering ship sensed the change in the air. It was a feeling that something old was waking, something that had slept for many ages. People spoke in low voices. They watched the stars with worry. No one knew what would happen next, but everyone felt the same fear. Earth's true name had been spoken again, and the galaxy could not forget what that name meant. Sumin stood at the wide window of the council hall and looked out at the city lights. They stretched far across the valley like bright rivers. Ships passed overhead, leaving white trails. But even this calm view felt tense. Nothing looked normal now. It felt as if the galaxy was holding its breath. She tried to keep her hands steady, but she could not hide her worry. She remembered the moment the ancient system on Earth triggered. She remembered the sharp alarms, the shock on everyone's faces, and the strange voice speaking in Old Korean. The voice had called the council delegation children of the wandering stars, and then it warned them that the galaxy was in danger again. Daewon walked up beside her. His eyes looked tired, as if he had not slept in days. "It is starting," he said quietly. Sumin nodded. "Everyone is afraid. They think Earth will destroy them." "They do not understand," Daewon said. "Earth never wanted power. They wanted peace. They only built those weapons to stop the harvesters. Sumin sighed. But fear is faster than truth. Daiwan looked over the city again. We have to talk to Earth. We need their help to shut down those ancient systems. Sumin agreed. Hana said the humans on Earth still do not know their history. If we tell them, will they believe us? Daiwan gave a small smile. They might. Humans are strange, but they have strong hearts. They will try to help. A soft sound came from behind them. Hana entered the hall, holding a data tablet close to her chest. Her face was pale. They responded, she said. Daiwan and Sumin both turned to her. Earth? Hana nodded. Yes, they received our message. They said they want to meet. Sumin took a long breath. Then we go. The three of them walked toward the council landing platform, where a transport ship waited. Many council members stood nearby, watching with a mix of hope and fear. Some whispered that this mission could save the galaxy. Others said it could end everything. The ship rose into the night sky and left the council world behind. Stars grew brighter as they entered open space. For a while, no one spoke. The silence felt heavy. Some looked out the window as the stars stretched into thin lines. Do you think Earth will understand what is happening? Hannah slowly nodded. They are confused. They said they do not know why anyone would hide their name. They asked if they did something wrong. Dawan's voice softened. They did nothing wrong. The galaxy owes them its life. When the ship finally neared Earth, the crew could see the blue planet shining like a jewel. Its clouds curled softly above the oceans. It looked peaceful. It looked innocent. But the closer they moved, the more they saw. Thousands of hidden stations and old defense satellites floated in the dark. Most of them were asleep. Some glowed faintly, like old guardians waiting for a command. A message appeared on their screen. It was from Earth. Welcome. Please land at our main research center. We will meet you there. The transport descended through Earth's atmosphere and landed on a wide landing area near a group of clean white buildings. Trees surrounded the research center, and the wind carried the sound of leaves brushing together. Two humans approached. One was a man named Taiwan, and beside him was a woman named Hyeri. They looked nervous, but also curious. Hyeri bowed slightly. Thank you for coming. We hope we can help. Daewon bowed back. Thank you for meeting us. We came because something very dangerous has awakened. Taiwan exchanged a quick look with Hyeri. We found old systems in orbit we never knew existed. They are strange. They speak an old form of our language. Sumin stepped forward. Those systems were made long ago, during a war the galaxy does not speak about. The harvesters almost destroyed everything. Earth fought them. Hyeri frowned. Earth? Humans fought a galactic threat? That can't be true. Hannah gently shook her head. It is true. Your ancestors ended the Harvester War. That is why your name was hidden. People feared the power humans used to stop the enemy. They feared it so much that they erased Earth from the records. Taiwan looked troubled. So, our own history was taken from us? Daewon nodded. To protect the galaxy, and to protect you. Hyeri took a deep breath. If those systems are dangerous, we want to turn them off. But we need your help. We do not understand the technology. The group entered the research center. Screens showed old machines and strange codes. Some of the data looked like warnings written by humans from the past. Others were commands meant for impossible weapons. Some touched one of the screens. If these protocols are triggered again, they could harm many worlds. We have to stop them together. Hyeri and Taiwan studied the strange code and spoke with the council team for many hours. They worked side by side, sharing every idea they had. Slowly, They learned how the systems were built, how they spread across the galaxy, and how to disable them without causing destruction. At last, after many long hours, they found the key. A shutdown phrase hidden deep inside the code. A final command written by old humans who feared their own creation. Hyeri read the phrase softly. They wrote it in simple words. They wanted it to be easy for future humans to understand. Taiwan nodded. If we say this phrase, the entire network will release control. Sumin stepped back. Then say it. The galaxy is waiting. Hyeri and Taiwan looked at each other, then at the screen. Together, they spoke the phrase. The lights in the room flickered. A long, deep sound echoed through the building. Then the screens went dark. Far above Earth. Ancient machines powered down. Across the galaxy, old weapons went silent. The danger passed like a slow, fading breath. Daewon smiled. It is done. Earth has saved the galaxy again. Sumin felt warm relief in her chest. The Council will be thankful. And afraid, but they will understand the truth now. Hannah stepped forward. We will restore your true name. The galaxy will know who you are again. Not as a terror, but as protectors. Hyeri gave a soft smile. We never wanted to be feared. We only want peace. Taiwan nodded. If the galaxy wants to speak with us, we will welcome them. And so the message was sent. For the first time in 10,000 years, the galaxy spoke Earth's name with respect, not fear. Old myths faded. New understanding grew. People across many worlds looked toward the blue planet and felt hope. Humanity's voice returned at last, calm and steady, rising across the stars like a beacon that had been waiting too long to shine again.